Hi guys, welcome back to my channel and to my updated physical TBR video. So I filmed a video just like this in December, I believe, where I showed you all my physical books on my TBR. I will link that video down below and up above. It only had about 10 to 15 books on it. This one has a lot more. This has 49. Yeah. We're not going to talk about that increase. It's been my birthday. I bought a bunch of books after a ban. It's not ideal, but I wanted to show you all the books that are on my TBR right now because I thought that'd be interesting. If you're ever interested on what is on my physical TBR, on my Goodreads, my want to read shelf is my physical TBR shelf, so you can have a look there at any books, and if you're at all interested in what I have on my shelves right now. I split these up into genres, so genres of how well I know its genre. What did I just say? Basically, if something's in its wrong genre, I'm sorry, I just wasn't aware. I haven't read them yet, so it's a bit difficult because I'm also someone who doesn't love to read all of the synopses because I feel like it can be a bit spoilery sometimes. So yeah, I'm just gonna do what I can. I feel like we should start with fantasy because it is my biggest category. So let's just dive right in. First we have A Lessons in Vengeance by Victoria Lee. This is a witch story based in a school. So we love the dark academia vibes and the witchy vibes, absolutely. This sounds so my cup of tea and it was on my April TBR and I didn't get to it. So it's priority for May to get to it. I will absolutely do it, I promise. I don't want to promise. No, I promise, I'll do it. Because I don't want to leave this much longer. It sounds so interesting. I think I'm just very nervous about it letting me down and being disappointing that I'm putting off reading it. Next we have The Afterlife of the Party by Marlene Perez. This is like giving my 13-year-old self serotonin because this sounds amazing and I used to love vampires and romance stories. So this will be so good, I'm sure of it, and I'm really excited to just dive into this one. I want a nice, easy read. Then we have The Luna Wolf by G. Bailey and Regan Rosewood. This is a smutty fantasy with werewolves, I think. I'm reading this for a blog tour at the end of the month, so I will be reading this in the next few days. I'm so excited about it. And you can check out my Instagram if you're interested in a review. Then we have An Arrow to the Moon by Emily Xrpan. I've never read anything from this author. I know they wrote Astonishing Colour of Ever After. That book sounds a bit too depressing for me, so I'm going to try this one instead. I didn't really care about the synopsis, but I did read the prologue of it and it sounded so interesting. So now I have a bit of motivation to pick it up. Then we have an arc that I definitely need to read this month because it is releasing, and that is Twin Crowns by Catherine Doyle and Catherine Weber. I've had this on my shelf for months. This might have even been in my last physical TBR video, but I've been waiting for the publication month to arrive. So yeah, I'm gonna prioritize this, hopefully in an arc reading vlog. Then we have The Coldest Touch by Isabel Sterling. This is like a YA romance between vampires and witches or something. I don't know. Sounds interesting. I'm not sure when or if I'm gonna get to this. My motivation since getting it has slowly declined, but perhaps I will. If you liked it, let me know and motivate me to read it. I might do like a catching up on Fairy Loot books video. Would you be interested in that and reading all of my Fairy Loot books at one go? I don't have many, so it would be possible to do in one vlog. Next we have my Caroline Peckham and Susan Valenti collection. First we have the last book in the Zodiac Academy series so far, and that is The Heartless Sky. So excited about this. This is a heavy book. This isn't the biggest book, however it is the heaviest. My goodness. Very excited. Look how small these words are. I just looked at some of the words. I'm so lucky I didn't see a spoiler. My God. Very, very excited, apart from the fact I'm also terrified because these books are so sad as you get later on in the series. So yeah, probably going to be in a lot of pain, but I'm excited about it. As a spin-off to the Zodiac Academy series, we have Dark Fae. I'm not 100% sure who this is set around. I thought Gabriel, but now I'm not so sure. But it is set in Aurora Academy, which is in the Zodiac world. So very excited to get to this as soon as I finished Zodiac Academy. And then lastly, from those authors, we have Kings of Quarantine, which is the first book in the Brutal Boys of Everlake Prep series. That's a long title. Again, so excited about this one. I wanted to read this series before I wanted to read Zodiac, so the fact that I'm now going to be getting to it soon really excites me. Next we have the last 3 books in the Throne of Glass series by Sarah J Maas. I actually did own these when I filmed my last video, but I forgot all about it, so I apologise for that. But we do have Empire of Storms, Tower of Dawn, and Kingdom of Ash. I'm nervous about finishing this series, so I think I've been putting it off subconsciously. Next we have Daughter of the Moon Goddess by Sue Lynn Tan. Again, I could read this for the Fairy Loot Fairy Loot reading vlog, or I could read it for my ARC reading vlog because I also have an ARC of the audiobook. So I could be reading it for either. But yeah, I'm so excited to get to this. I just have put it off for some unknown reason. I think I'm nervous about not liking it and having to get rid of this beautiful edition. So sad. Next we have Beyond a Darkened Shore by Jessica Leake. I have not heard about this, and then I saw it online for really cheap. I picked it up, and then I've seen a couple of good reviews since, so that's exciting. The synopsis also sounds absolutely fascinating. Like, I'm glad I picked it up now, so yeah, really excited for this one. The same kind of thing with Circle of Shadows. I didn't see a lot about it, and then in the last couple of days I've seen quite a few reviews, and even the ones that weren't as great, like 3 stars, still sounded really interesting from what they said. So yeah, I'm really excited to get to this one as well. Why does the sun keep moving? Next we have The Song That Sings Us by Nicola Davis. This is a fantasy set in a world that is inspired by whales, so of course I'm interested. And then we have a super short fantasy, Mirage by Samaya Dowd. It's under 300 pages, so there's no excuse not to get to this pretty soon. Next we have Ace of Shades by Amanda Foody. Now recently I've heard nothing about this, but years ago, this was when I first started booktube, like 2 years ago, this was everywhere. So I guess it's probably good, but the hype just died down for it. I'm not sure. I don't know, but I'm really interested by this still. It sounds really interesting to me. I'm going to give it a go and see. Next we have Caraval and Legendary by Stephanie Garber. Obviously the first 2 books in the Caraval series. I'm excited to get to this as well now that Connor has said it's really, really good. So I will be hopefully prioritizing this one soon. I'm just trying to finish up some series because wow, I have a lot on the go. If you would be interested in a series I currently have open video, like what series am I currently reading, let me know and I can film that for you, and then maybe in a year we can watch it and react to it and see like what series I have left to finish. Next we have Shadow of the Fox by Julie Kagawa. I feel like I hear so much about Julie Kagawa's works and I've never read anything from them, so this one had really good reviews on Goodreads, so I thought this one would be a very good one to start with, and it's a beautiful edition. I think this is Alcrate. Someone let me know. And then lastly, for the fantasy, we have Fury Reborn by Claire Legrand. Again, something I hear such good things about. It looks very intimidating. This looks like high fantasy, but I don't know if it is. I don't know. I'm willing to give it a go. So that was my biggest genre, fantasy. I do have a lot of fantasy books. It is my favourite genre. So that's my excuse for that one. Next, we're going to go into romances, which slowly I'm starting to get more and more into, which is exciting for me. So I've built a little bit of a collection up on my TBR for books I want to read. The first is some books in the Off-Campus series. I have read The Deal, so all I have left is The Mistake, The Score, and The Goal. I am excited to see how I feel about the rest of these because I really like The Deal, but I feel like this one especially gets really bad reviews. But we're going to see for ourselves and find out. Next I have a book that I think is romance, but I've never heard anyone talk about it, so I'm not entirely sure. And that is Sophia Khan and the Baby Blues by Aisha Malik. This sounds interesting. It sounds romance. It does say she finds both romance and happiness, but I don't know if it's predominantly romance or if it's like more about finding yourself. I don't know. But it has romance in it. It's super short, so I decided to pick it up and give it a try. And next we have Happily Ever After by Kira Kass. This has been on the TBR for a while as well because I want to read, they're short stories basically from the Selection series. I want to reread the Selection series so that I can read these in the order they're intended. So like finish one book, read the short stories that relate to that book. But I don't know if I'm ever going to get that done, so I think I just need to like move on and get on with the book. There's some beautiful imagery in here, so I'm really wanting to get to it. And I don't think I have any time to reread the Selection series right now, so I think I'm just going to have to bite the bullet and read this on its own. Let me know if you think that would ruin my reading experience, like if you've already read it, or if you think it's fine. Next, of course, we have 2 Colleen Hoover books, because everybody at the moment is reading Colleen Hoover. I read Verity, and these are the 2 that I have left that I'm interested in. It Ends With Us and Ugly Love. I believe these just are like toxic romances based around abuse. I had a lot of motivation to read these, but then people on TikTok kept spoiling what happens and who you don't like for me, so it's kind of pointless me reading them. I will get to them at some point, but that's why my motivation left me and they're still on here, because I fully intended on reading them like straight away, and now people have annoyed me, of course. Next I have some Jenny Han books. I have The Summer I Turned Pretty and It's Not Summer Without You. The either movie or TV show, I can't remember what it is coming out for this in June or July, and so I would really like to read these before watching that. My nerves come from the fact that I loved To All the Boys I've Loved Before and the second book in that series, and then the third book came along and I was like, what in the toxic mess is this? So I'm nervous that this is going to be the same. But I picked them up on a good deal, so does it really matter if I don't like them? No. But I'm going to give them a try. Next we have The Spanish Love Deception by Elena Amass. Every single human being on this earth seems to be reading this, and I want to know what is up with 6'4" Aaron Blackford. Everybody talks about him. I want to know if he's as amazing as everybody makes out. I think this is going to be my cup of tea. I know that it's hit or miss for a lot of people, but I think it's going to be for me, but we shall see, I suppose. Definitely a priority to get to soon. Next we have some romances that I picked up yesterday that I've never heard anything about, so I can't really tell you anything about them. They just motivated me to pick them up because I'm suddenly loving romance. So I'm just going to fly through them really quick. We have The Handover by David M. Barnett, The Dating Game by Sandy Barker, and A Second-Hand Husband by Claire Coleman. Next, we have like mythology-esque books. They might not all be. The last one I don't know about, but we're just going to put it in here anyway because I think so. This is one that I'm really like loving at the moment, so I've got quite a few on the TBR, but I'm also flying through them because they're my priorities at the moment, so I'm not too worried about how many there are. First we have 1,000 Ships by Natalie Haynes. After reading Song of Achilles, I wanted to see more books based on the women's view, so I have this one. And I also have The Silence of the Girls by Pat Barker, both I believe following the Trojan War, and I'm really excited about it. Next we have The Witch's Heart by Genevieve Gornicek. This beautiful floppy edition. Definitely interested in this because it is based on Loki and his wife and trying to hide from Odin, which sounds so interesting to me. So yeah, definitely going to be getting on this very soon. Next we have Pandora by Susan Stokes Chapman. This sounds amazing. It's like a mixture of, I believe, like based on mythology, but it's more historical fiction. Sounds so interesting. It sounds so lyrical and beautiful. Again, definitely a priority for me, as with all of these books. Another Natalie Haynes is Pandora's Jar. This is non-fiction, so it's a bit different to the other books in this category. And I also my only non-fiction on my entire TBR. I'm not a non-fiction girly. This one sounds so interesting, especially as I already wanted to read another Natalie Haynes book. And finally, the book that I'm definitely not sure is mythology, but like, I think so, I don't know, is A River Enchanted by Rebecca Ross. Oh my goodness, everybody I watch has loved this. And it sounds so my cup of tea. The beautiful cover, everything about it, phenomenal. So ready for this one. High priority, probably the highest priority on this TBR, apart from the Zodiac Academy, of course. So next we have the miscellaneous category. These are books that either like have a genre, but there's not enough of them to put them all in one, or I literally just have no idea. So I guess we'll just go through them. First we have a couple of classics. We have two Daphne du Maurier's. We have My Cousin Rachel and The House on the Strand. I tried to pick this up not long ago and unfortunately spoiled it for myself, so stopped reading it and never picked it back up. The other one I have no excuse for. This sounds so interesting, and yeah, I just have not picked it up. There is absolutely no excuse. I'm going to make sure that I finish these pretty soon because it's embarrassing that it's still on my TBR at this point. And next we have Northanger Abbey by Jane Austen. Really interested in this and absolutely love these editions, and I want to get more of them. Next we have two Dark Academia, I believe, books. I know everyone calls them that these days. Who knows if they truly are. But first we have The Secret History by Donna Tartt. Really excited for this one because everybody and their mother seems to love this. It seems to be like a million different people's favourite book. I am ready to dive on in and find out what the hype is all about. And then next we have A Narrow Door by Joanne Harris, set in a school. She's the first female headmistress. things like that. I don't know what genre this is, so I've just kind of gone with this a dark academia vibe because it's got a school, but I may be wrong. But it sounds really, really interesting. And then the last few are just, I have no idea. First of all, we have an arc of Young Women by Jessica Moore. This comes out at the end of May. I am excited to get to this. It sounds really interesting, but I only got it yesterday, so like I haven't had a chance yet. Then we have A Last Night at the Telegraph Club by Melinda Lowe. Again, saw so many good things about this. It sounds so fascinating. I'm very intrigued. I suppose I should have put this in classics, but I don't actually know if it's considered a classic yet because it's not that old. But we have Parable of the Sower by Octavia E. Butler, like a scary dystopian, and it's basically happening now from what I've heard. And last but not least for this TBR, oh my goodness, we have Once There Were Wolves by Shauna McConaughey. This sounds absolutely fascinating. It is super short, so I feel like perfect for a quick day read. Very, very intrigued by this one. It feels like I know a lot about it, but it also seems really ominous. So we'll see how I feel about it. So that is my complete TBR. Oh my goodness, that was ridiculous. Quite the growth on the old one. Again, if you would like to see the comparison of what is on my TBR now and what is on my TBR before, you can watch that video. It is down below. Hopefully my next updated one, probably at the end of the year, will be back down, preferably. Because this is a little bit insane, I won't lie. But yeah, I am hoping to make some progress in the next few months and hope this slump has fully left me by then. So yeah, thank you so much for watching this video, especially if you made it to the end. Thank you so much, and I shall see you in the next video. Bye!